E aí, gurizada, Kawasaki na zanga motos, porque cava é vida.
Fala pessoal, voltando aqui com uma série irada do canal para quem tem gasolina no sangue. E eu vou trazer de volta alguns vídeos que marcaram demais a minha infância. Pô, eu assistia todo dia no chuveiro, tinha um DVD portátil. Eu ficava assistindo esse vídeo especificamente porque eu queria aprender como o James Stewart amortecia. Sim, naquela época, 2003, 2002, 2004, a internet não era como hoje, o YouTube não tinha todos os vídeos, não tinha essa história do YouTube, na verdade. Então, cara, você tinha que assistir esses DVDs para tentar aprender. Então eu vou começar a postar aqui alguns vídeos que marcaram demais e muitos são bloqueados, o copyright, no YouTube. Então esse aqui eu consegui, então assistam. Essa série vale muito a pena. Para você que gosta do esporte, gosta de motocross, para você que quer ser raiz, você tem que assistir. Deixa o like, se inscreve e vamos lá.
Well, if I was the president of the United States, I'd have a double jumper going across the White House gates, and a dirt track in every elementary school, and a mud dog in place of a swimming pool. Go! If you can't let your tires burn, to hell with conservation, cause we'll never learn. What's it? Come on, baby, rip it up for me. We'll have a motocross track, see the shining sea. Well, tear it up, baby, yeah, you know I don't care. Yeah, that's all of this, come on, man. Cause I'm a nigga free sniper. I'm gone.
If you don't mind, let's begin right where we left off last year, with the champ, Ricky Carmichael, the big red number 4. RC won all 12 races last year without breaking a sweat. Well, now if you have a champ, then you gotta have a challenger. Yep, goes by the name of Kevin Windham. This old boy was the last person to beat Ricky, but that was years ago. K-Dub decided to grab a little R&R for about a year and a half. Then I think he was kicked in the head by a donkey or something, which knocked his sense back. Then you got the 2 wild cards. One goes by the name of Chad Reed, Viente Dos, that's 22 in Mexican. This fella spanked RC 6 straight races in Supercross, but this is the outdoors, a whole nother bitch. Last, you got Tim Ferry. You can never count Red Dog out. Well, I guess you could, but you'd be a damn fool. Well, all right. Let's shoot on out to the Wild West where our story begins.
I'm gonna lay it out there on the line, you know, as close as I can get it without, you know, getting out of that comfort zone, because the facts are I haven't done this in a year and a half.
Might have remembered this same scene last year, but a different bike. Check the number plate. There's a 1 and a 4 on it. Kevin Windham was gone.
Kevin crashed the first moto at Glen Helen, you know, he had that one in the bag, I believe. So I really think I should have lost the first race there.
Well, I'm a weapon of mass destruction. Got no apologies for a hyper-concussion. I'm gonna swipe your identity, take pure love and turn it into obscenity. Who's your daddy?
Ricky's in front.
That's all right.
Yeah, he can pace him.
Second moto is what he really wanted. He wanted Kevin to get out front, which Kevin did. Ricky had to work his way through, and sure enough, he ran Kevin down, went by him, and disappeared.
My arm's cramped up. I wasn't hydrated enough.
Hey, this is the toughest race of the year, brother. You're on the right track.
Seven days have passed since Glen Helen. 7 days for K-Dub to marinate in his defeat. RC had him under his boot working the jab. Number 14 needed to connect with a roundhouse. K-Dub came out swinging, and that boy landed a knockout.
I'm on the road, fast, and I'm on a jump, up high. Suck you up with my tailwind as I go up into the sky. Jump high and die.
Halfway there. No matter what, he broke the streak.
I think Kevin really wanted that bad because maybe he wouldn't have had a perfect season if Kevin would have raced last year. And so it was just a point. The only reason you have that is because I wasn't here.
I ain't got time to f around. Jump high and die.
While Wyndham was scraping the mud out of his ear, reading Carmichael's table for two was ready.
I kind of really found out that when I needed to run the pace of Kevin and Ricky, I wasn't able to.
RC here ain't too big on get-togethers. He likes to be alone and out front, giving all the other boys a cheap high from his fumes. Now it's clear as Evian that these two boys are gonna be serving roost burgers to each other all summer long. At Mount Morris, RC kicked in the extra 49 cents and supersized his.
like the idea of people going to the race going, yeah, Ricky's going to win, who's going to get second? That's not cool, and that's not what racing's about.
You know, those two going in knew that that could be a racetrack where they could run heads up.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! You'll make me drag your ass outside. I will. And I'm gonna take you over the hell ride.
Another fist fight broke out on the other side of the playground. Red Dog and Reed were banging fibulars.
Ricky's just like a boxer. He's just got that killer instinct. There's no such thing as his second place and his way of thinking. You know, there was another subplot to the thing. There was Ricky on the 2-stroke and Kevin on his CRF 450R 4-stroke. You know, there's certain tracks and certain areas of tracks that one bike's gonna shine over the other.
It was a perfect day for he and I just to go at it.
Like Custer thought the battle won.
The best man will always win, and you know, he did for that day.
He needed to set an example there with Wyndham, more or less saying, hey, you may be good, you may be great, but I can still run you down.
I like Southwick because it's sandy, but it's a tough race. It's probably the hardest one. Never get a break.
Southwick. Even the toughest fools pucker when they hear the word.
Southwick is a man's track, for sure.
Dallas forward, security staff won't let me through without a ticket card. Caught you standing with your tiny little fingers, holding up the paper till the money's gone. Why don't you tell me who?
Old Red Dog fought through the wash to grab box, as did the local boy, John Dowd. As for RC, well, he just kept on demoralizing.
There's nobody in the world that could beat Ricky Carmichael on a track like this. And you know what? Everybody knows it.
This sandbox ain't for kids, but old Ricky, well, he can play in it all day long.
I didn't expect to run with Ricky. To be competitive with somebody, you have to know that you can run with him. And I went in that race not thinking that I could.
Ricky went around Wyndham like a friggin' hologram, which left K-Dub to bark it out with JYD.
If I could pull off some podiums or whatever, that'd be great, and I'd be stoked.
K-Dub got Dowdy this moto, but the Junkyard Dog ended up snatching second overall.
Hometown track, what can I say?
tomorrow. You roll up the pain and you drink up all your sorrow. Well, I don't know if I'm the only one to believe, if I'm the only one in this great big world to see.
Bud's Creek was the roller coaster ride continued.
Bud's Creek, it just wasn't the weekend.
It was unbelievable. It was really cool. I mean, I was happy and then like nervous at the same time. You know, I'm like really stoked that he's in the lead. I'm really happy, and then I'm like, did I tighten that axle? Is everything good?
I don't know why. I can leave you there laying there crying. I don't know why. Sometimes I really don't want to.
And I mean, he straight up won the moto, but I mean, I think it was good for his confidence.
I told you not to count this boy out, damn it. Even though Red Dog's halfway home, I got a strange feeling RC ain't gonna let him get there.
Get him! Get him! Come on, baby! Charge! Charge!
You know, it was time for me to win. It didn't happen, so it was kind of like, you know, back down the hill.
Anybody has those days where you wake up and it's just not going to be your day.
He crashed in the first turn, and then he got up and he worked his way up to like 20th, and then he crashed again. Nobody I've ever worked with has ever won and then went DNF. I mean, as far as, yeah, raw speed, one lap speed, Timmy can go as fast as anybody in the world. But you got to put them all together, and that's where number 4 is pretty good at.
Well, folks, here we are at our 5th race, so let's see what's what. RC gave up a few motos, but has still won every overall so far. Our boy Reed is cruising in 3rd place, just edging out Red Dog, and K-Dub, well, he's floating around in 2nd, wondering if he can ever open a can on Ricky.
To win an outdoor championship, you have to be consistent, you have to be in really, really good shape, and you got to have a little luck on your side.
Red Bud, he should have won that one because he had him covered, and he just lost the front end.
You always have to have luck on your side, but also I'm a firm believer in you make your own luck at times.
Well, I'm a weapon of mass destruction. Got no apologies for a hyper-concussion. I'm gonna swipe your identity, take pure love and turn it into obscenity. I'll steal your soul.
I wouldn't think Red Bud would be a track Wyndham would ever struggle at. You know, you had to wonder at that point if he was maybe a little bit demoralized.
Who's your daddy?
The only race that could have been held here this weekend is the stupid America's Cup. Troy got rescheduled to the weekend after Steel City, which would make it the final race of the season.
Patience, dude. It'll all come around.
Unadilla, it's one of those things where you take the bike off the back of the truck. The mood's real up and cheery. Everything was going on besides the race.
The less I think of racing, the better I am.
Don't know if it's everyone or just me who thinks we should keep the mood real light. 'Cause when we're together, I feel as though we're flying, walking on the clouds.
Unadilla was just where it all finally fell into place.
K-Dub crushed RC in Moto 1. Now he needed to close the deal. It's been 721 days since Kevin has won an outdoor national. It's been 721 days since Ricky's lost an outdoor national. Kevin Windham would be damned to let another day go by without changing that.
One standpoint, it was a dream, you know, because everything just kind of felt right into place. And, you know, on the other hand, it wasn't a dream at all. It was just a result of good preparation. You know, it was a feeling that's really not describable.
The two Honda riders shake hands, and Ricky Carmichael knows that Kevin Windham was a tough opportunity. You can't take anything away from K-Dub.
I didn't think much about Ricky didn't win. You know, like I think a lot of people left that race thinking, man, the streak's been broke, and you know, we got a new winner, and you know, all that kind of deal. And for me, it was like, dude, I won.
All I got to say is momentum. K-Dub's got it. RC's just drafting off it. Number 14 got some big old dirty boots to fill now. All the motorheads expecting W's here. Everybody's got their favorite track. Washougal is K-Dub's Candyland. And the old Unadilla breeze just keeps pushing him onward. Moto 2 was more of the same. Old number 14 out front styling like a damn Gucci ad. Old number 4 twisting and twisting the throttle, all chubby checkerish. And then it happened. K-Dub entered another universe. Hello, my name is Ricky Carmichael. I was beat 2 races in a row. prepare to die.
I was coming from behind, and was eating a lot of sand, a lot of dirt. I was breathing hard, and it was just like, balling up in my throat. The gag reflexes of having that sand just finally started setting in.
He's sick? Yeah, he was throwing up, and then he's just up right here.
I was puking while I was riding, and it was brutal, but that's what nationals are about, I guess.
The heat and dust started affecting all the boys. Well, all except for one. RC is clearly a man possessed.
How the f do you draw a chicken? Draw a chicken? Yeah, because he threw up chicken all over my bike.
Well, I hope we all had our fun back there at Washougal, because guess what? The party's over. Last call was 2 weeks ago, and RC is bouncing fools.
We knew going into that race that he was going there to make a statement. Nobody was going to beat Ricky Carmichael that day.
RC dropped a sweet loving H-bomb on the whole lot of them. The damn mushroom cloud could be seen from Washougal and Unadilla. A real horror show.
Walking on towers, tall as the sky. Can you feel your world move every time I walk by? Firelight, fire bright, fire right. Set your sight on what you want tonight. 'Cause I can feel you stalking, I won't put up a fight. I can still catch you if you're moving around. You can't even burn me if I swim in gasoline. 7, 8, 9, 10, perfect 10, 11.
Old Kevin got him good, waved bye-bye and slid on in home.
Use it, or is it just for show? If you give it to me, well, I might not let it go. Skyscraper, down your paper. Hold on tight, say goodnight. You can take the wrong way, turn it around and make it right. I can feel you stalking, I won't put up a fight. I could still catch you if you're moving around. You can't even burn me if I swim in gasoline. 7, 8, 9, 10, perfect 10, 11.
Track changed a pretty good bit from Moto 1 to Moto 2. At a lot of races in the year, I was making suspension changes in between motos. And being that I did so well in the first moto, I didn't make a change that I should have made. And he made the changes, which really was just a slap in the face for me, because that's what I should have done.
Part of their job is not only to win races, but to win races, you've got to know your bike in and out. And Ricky's very, very good at that.
Ricky could wrap it all up, folks. He's got enough points to claim the championship with an overall win here.
I want to go out there and just try to finish the moto and get the best result I can and stay on 2 wheels. And if I do that, I think I could pull this off.
set the pace and was on his way, old K-Dub surged and got within swinging distance. RC got him, and there was only one moto left for Kevin, but he had his sights set on that overall. Kevin exploded all savage-like, looking like the front cover of a Meatloaf album, all set and ready to dethrone RC for the day.
Police siren sounds like call. The broke record echo like ice cream trucks. The summer heat wave wet your arm. Hands will dry, feet will run. Run till you fall down. From that siren sound, kings and queens wear crowns.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2003 outdoor champ, Ricky Carmichael, the most mentally and physically badass kid on two wheels.
It's been a good year. The competition has stepped up, and I'm glad to see it. You know, it keeps me motivated. It's great for the sport. It's awesome.
It was good for me because I had fun. You know, I enjoyed the year. I won some races. I made some mistakes. I learned from them. But at the end of the day, there was nowhere else that I'd rather be than on the track on a weekend.
Next year's going to be a whole new season. It's something that I'm really looking forward to, and we'll see how it goes.
The sweets I see grow ripe with age. Youth's expenses old men pay. Run till you fall down. From that siren sound, kings and queens wear crowns. Kids from Queens wear crowns.
Next outdoor season, I will be more prepared, more mature, and having more fun.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. What about Troy? Well, I'll tell you about Troy. Mother Nature turned it into Lake Michigan again. Yep, canceled. Not postponed, canceled. The 250 class was already decided at Steel City, so it didn't mean much to them. But the 125 class, shoot, that was a whole nother story. The 125 class goes like this. The 2001 champ, the one that could have been champ, the stranger, and of course, the comeback kid. Let's get some details. Now, Mike Brown was crowned champ a few years ago. It all came down to the last moto at Steel City. Grant Langston, the big Highway 111, had a good amount of points on Brown. But with a few laps to go, his back wheel turned into a damn spaghetti-o. Now that'll leave a mark. The stranger is just a figure of speech for Ryan Hughes because we hadn't seen him lately. A while ago, he smashed himself all up and said to hell with this. But Rhino here got a little tired sitting around with Nurse Ratchet. He's back from the half dead, and he's pissed off. Well, I guess that about does it. Oh, wait a bit. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about the kid. Little James, Bubba, James Stewart Jr. You can call him whatever you want, he'll still kick your ass every Sunday. 2002 champ, faster than greased snot. At the last Supercross, he decided to put his shoulder on backwards, and he'll sit out the beginning of the outdoor season. But don't worry, the kid returns just in time to make the other boys feel like the backside of a horse. None of our three boys got the best of starts. As they slapped down the laps, number 3 started to creep. Old Brownie, bulldogging and charging, got out in front like the old vet knows how, taking the W from the kids. Second moto started out with GL, Rhino, and Brownie all smacking funny bones. Grant took ownership of the moto and let the others puke all over second.
I'm on the road, fast, and I'm on a jump, up high. Suck you up with my tail, and yes, I'll go up into the sky. Blow by you.
I dug deep and gave everything I had, and then the last 2 laps I pushed hard and actually I pulled away a little bit. It was good, it felt good, you know, it reminded me of years back, so it's like the old rivalry renewed.
Number 3 did get the overall at Glen Helen, followed by GL and Rhino.
The first moto, I fell down the first lap and just coming through, and it was so easy. You know, I just picking people off so easy and got in the lead and just cruised around.
Get your ass on down that road. Don't make me drag your ass outside. I'm gonna take you over the hell ride.
Rhino, Brownie, and Eric Sorby were off and fighting. Langston wasn't getting his damn chores done.
Rhino passed him for sure. Sorby passed him. Could be slipping out of top 5 if he doesn't pull it together.
You know, just made sure I hit every line perfect and everything was good. And then I know those guys were close behind me the first moto. You know, I said, okay, I got 2 laps to go. There's no way anybody's passing me.
Rhino, you know, received clearance from the doctor to come back, and I remember him telling me, you know, I felt like I was going to throw up in my helmet. I was gasping for air, but there's no way I was going to lose that race.
Moto 2 came down to the frickin' tape. That Sorby kid was hot as hell and getting all comfy running up with the 105 and Brownie. Old Rhino was wearing his guts on his sleeve and clipped Sorby by a bike length. The man got him an overall. Mount Mars was an old school brawl like you'd see at a tavern in the deep south. Rhino and Brownie using machetes, hacksaws, hell, whatever they could get their gropers on.
Just get ready for f***ing battle, dude.
Where I work so hard, I dig it, I ditch. I work so hard, I'm a no good son of a bitch, yo. I dig it, and third, I stay like come on! I yank the feel I get from it.
Number 3 and the 105 were chopping up the earth. And then Brownie decided to take a detour through some banners. Old Rhino said, "Lates, thanks for the W."
I work so hard. To collect my life, 5 more years and I'll be in. And I get my little brass in.
Second moto? Shoot, that sucker was legendary.
He was all over me and he had some better lines, and you know, it seemed like I was holding him up a little bit, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna let him by and I'm gonna try to push him into the mistake. And then he just, you know, kind of dive bombed me and pushed me off the track.
You know, I didn't bump him or hit him or nothing, you know. We just went to the same corner. You know, I meant to go out there, and he just went off the track because he didn't want me to hit him or whatever. In the next corner, he didn't. No, it hits me really hard.
He went wide, he missed his turn. I got into the rut, and he tried to come across, and we rammed. The next corner, he looks over at me, brake checks me, you know, whatever. Hey, that's racing. As long as it's not dirty, yeah, I'm cool with that. You know, so I thought, you know, there's gonna be a good, hard race the rest of the season.
Crashed on the start at Southwick and bit my clutch lever and tore my grip off.
Somehow he had fallen and his handlebars went into the wheel. It was at such a weird angle we couldn't get them out forever. I mean, we were way back. We only got going about, I think someone said it was almost 40 seconds after the fuel had gone. It felt like a lifetime.
You know, rode the race with no grip and didn't get no points the first moto.
Yep, things were looking butt ugly for number 3 and number 111. I'm sure a big gulp of trash juice would have tasted better. But Rhino here, well, he had it worse than them all.
About the third, fourth lap, got my foot on the ground and ripped my foot off the peg and broke my leg. For me, it was kind of almost devastated. You know, so I kind of squirreled around for 2 laps, almost depressed. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna ride as hard as I can until they pass me, and they never passed me.
105 hung in there with his busted stomper and ended up taking the points lead after the first moto.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. But if you're a broken leg, you're done.
Old Rhino had to make a decision. Who are we kidding? We're talking about Ryan frickin' Hughes here. Act like you know.
Typical old school Rhino. Tape yourself back together with duct tape or whatever the hell you have to do and get back out there.
Going in the second moto, I had a 16-point lead. And, you know, I got a bad start, crashed 3 times, but just kept pushing. And at first, I couldn't even shift because my foot was kind of crooked. And I had to take my foot off the shift and take it off the shift down.
He's right there! Come on, let's go!
Brownie fought like hell to get his points lead back and came out of Southwick on top again. As for Rhino, well, points or no points, just be afraid of the dude.
God!
You know, it was tough, but towards the middle of the moto, it started feeling pretty good. You know, I think when you want things bad enough, you'll overcome anything.
With only a week to heal, 105 was still all busted to hell.
I don't know how am I going to ride this stuff, you know? And trust me, nobody's going to think you're a pussy.
To make things worse, him and Brownie played a little game of helmet smack.
Yeah, tell me. It's your battle, it's not your battle. What the happened? The guy cleaned me out again, second time. What the is his problem? Hey, is this accidental? You look at that, huh? I'm out of the berm. Okay, he comes and hits me. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
It's always been the same ever since we've raced since kids, you know. I knew at the beginning of the year everything was gonna happen like this, you know. He's aggressive, I'm aggressive, and it just doesn't work, you know.
Nah, I have no respect for that guy. My main goal in this whole rest of the season is to beat him. I'm gonna beat him bad.
I told him I was sorry when it happened, and that's it. I mean, if he wants to be pissed off for the rest of his life, he can, I ain't.
Rhino's stomper ain't gonna work today. 105 has to take a seat and watch the other boys collect points. Well, look what happened. With all this commotion, I forgot about the main event. No, not the race. The return of the kid. Look at him there, all ready to jack up the program. They all tried not to stare, but they knew none of them was gonna win a moto for the rest of the year.
He came out and smoked everybody as badly as you can.
To me, he's one of the smartest riders I've ever worked with. Like, he goes up to a jump and he starts at the bottom and he like whips the bike sideways and he stays really low instead of going high. So everyone's trying it now, but they don't do it at the same speed. Even when he goes in turn, I mean, that sucker is laid over with the gas on. He goes 2 turns faster than anybody I've ever seen.
Boniface cut me off in the second moto. Whew. If I wasn't going for last and first, I probably knocked him down a couple times. The first 5 or 6 laps when I'm trying to make up time, I hang it out. I don't care. The only thing I know is twist the throttle. I gotta get up front.
He makes it happen right then. He doesn't take any precautions.
Another boy showed up at Redbud. Last year's runner-up, Brandon Jessamine. Bubba was okay with it. As long as Brandon finished each race between him and the top 3 boys, they'd get along just fine.
You're gonna be fine. Just go out there and have fun. This doesn't mean nothing to us. Don't let anybody push you around, though.
James knew his shot at it was having those guys take points away from one another, and then having Jessamine further dilute the points while James kept winning motos.
My whole goal is to not get dirty because it seems like I can't go fast. So the first lap I was all muddy and stuff, so I was all pissed. It took me like 3 laps and I passed Rhino, Brown, all of pretty much everybody, and I soaked this one jump up to get around Kelly Smith.
James passed me both motos today, and I definitely didn't have anything for him. He was just a league above us.
Grant worked his way out of the doghouse by finishing strong at the second moto. Rhino did what he could to salvage some points and drag himself along. Brownie continued struggling with the 7th overall, but somehow kept the points lead over 111 and 105.
Pretty intense, like he rides really aggressive and so fast, and even if he's out front by 40 seconds, he's still taking chances.
Yeah, I guess he slid up the face or something. Langston's hanging it out, he wants him. First couple rounds, there was so much focus on, Rhino and Brownie. It was real weird to me because I thought, Grant being in the points race before, he was sitting in 3rd, and everybody, like even the media and stuff, they'd come around and it was like Rhino and Brownie, and we thought it was kind of cool because, it's like, hey, we'll just keep plugging along.
Right now I'm going to try and look at myself as more the underdog and just be consistent and not do those stupid things I've done before. I seem to self-destruct sometimes, I think I'm my own worst enemy. You got to make the most out of every single moto.
James continued his perfection. Langston was strong, attacking the track. Sniffed his way all the way up to 1 point away from Brownie. The overall at Unadilla was Stewart, Langston, Hughes. Number 3 needed to get some damn podes. Quick.
And just go find your groove out there, buddy. Come. No tension, no nothing. Worry about anything.
I got some really bad virus or something. They didn't even know what it was. I went to 2 doctors and they couldn't tell me what it was.
Aggressive in the first turn. Need the whole shot, buddy.
But I, went in with the attitude of, I have to ride.
the only one to believe, if I'm the only one in this great big world to see.
Brownie came out old style, the number 3 we know, barely hanging on, getting smacked in the tuchus by his Bridgestones. Stewart smoked him, of course, but Brown took back some precious points.
Here today, I'll put your gun so quick tomorrow. Roll up the pain and you drink up all your sorrow. Well, I don't know if I'm the only one to believe, if I'm the only one in this great big world to see.
Brown was again on the charge, opening it up wide as a house, and then the roof caved in.
It's like a little step-up jump and it's really fast and you would scrub your speed off going up the face of it, and I stayed low and my front wheel hit the top of the jump and popped me up and high-sided me on the ground.
The flagger's not paying attention. I think Rhino said he was like in 4th gear pinned and just center punched Mike like right in the chest.
And I just laid there and I just thought, man, I've blown it, you know?
Could be the points lead, but I don't know how by many. Probably like 15. But Brownie looks pretty hurt. It sucks, you know? Kind of a bad way to take it, but we'll take it.
Come on, buddy!
I seriously thought I was going to die, but I caught those guys up and I was honestly just riding on pure adrenaline. I mean, it's amazing how the mind can take over the body. You know, the adrenaline, everything kind of takes over, but when I crossed the finish line, I couldn't stand up, I couldn't see straight. I mean, I was really out of it.
When the dust settled, Langston was in the lead, Brownie in 2nd, Hughes in 3rd, and the kid was creeping fast in 4th. But Bubba's hopes of taking the title were slapped back with the news of Brandon Jessup. At Millville practice, Brandon snapped his groper and was out for the season.
You know, with him out, it kind of like blew my whole title chances because, you know, when it comes to, I could have lost by 10 points, but like just imagine like if Jessup would finished 2nd and Langston would have got 3rd and every moto out, that's 10 points right there. The whoops were pretty cool, you know, they was big this year and it was long. So I thought, you know, that'd be my strong point.
I couldn't believe all they had in there. They had to add more in because of my hurt shoulder, you know? It's like they did it against me, but no, that was the worst part of the track.
The 105 was on fire, throwing that KTM around like a nunchuck. Got himself embedded in the 2nd place spot and stayed there. Second moto was a nasty piece for 111. GL slid out and watched the field go by.
Everything sucks, I wanna die. Everything sucks, I wanna die. Everything sucks, I wanna die. You gotta get me out of here. Ain't this place going to tears?
The Millville whoops. Them damn things are just plain rude.
There's way too many whoops. That's a little overboard. It's kind of hard on the riders. That's a long time to be going through those. I honestly think that Mike Brown would have made it through the whole weekend if those whoops weren't there.
Everything
Old Brownie tried his ass off to get around that track with his separated shoulder, but it just couldn't happen.
If it wasn't for those, it'd been okay. It's pretty disappointing, especially after all the work I put into it in a year to get there, and you know, you're on the top, and then one little mistake and it's, you know, it's gone.
Looks like we're down to 2, 105 and 111. Grant came off a miserable finish at Millville and knows that Rhino is in spitting distance of his points lead.
You know, Binghamton, finally I got a good start, and then all of a sudden at the corner of my eye I just saw him coming in. When you're going for a championship and some guy comes and takes you out in the first lap and you're back in 40th, it's really frustrating.
With GL dealing with lappers, Rhino went to work and stuck a second-place finish.
Grant wants to win a championship. I think he's owed a championship. No disrespect to Mike Brown, but I mean, you know, Grant came a lap and a half from that. I mean, it can't be any more heartbreaking than that. And it'd be cool to see him come back and win it. I think he deserves it.
All GL could fare is 10th. Rhino was 5 points away from the lead. The kid, well, he put on a hateful display of dominance.
Dallas forward, security staff won't let me through without a ticket card. Then I saw her stretched out first class like lying in the front of her backyard. Later when it says you broke my best guitar.
Would have been probably leading right now if we had one more race under our belt, but you know, it's what we chose to do. I mean, we asked him, he obviously is fine with it. I mean, we know who would have won if he didn't get hurt, so he's definitely proven his point there. And Langston's leading the series, but he hasn't won a race.
It gets old hearing people, oh, well, you know, so-and-so was hurt, they would have won. Well, you know what? That's how it goes. If Grant wouldn't have got hurt in 2001, he would have won easy. You crash, you pay the price, you lose.
Rhino was a bike length or so ahead of GL and forced a costly mistake, which shot Rhino back to 10 points behind Langston.
Steel City in 2001 was a tough day to deal with. It's like your dream got shattered at that point, and I thought it was the end of the world back then, but you know, here we are 2 years later and it seems like a repeat.
I'm the type of person that I don't know, I like to take control of situations. He was the one that was being hunted and I was a hunter.
If everything goes normally, he should win. But it is motocross. Shit happens.
The track got very rutted out, so coming into the turns they were like grooves, so you couldn't just change a line that easily. And one of the guys, he just crashed, and I tried to avoid it, but I hit him on his bike and I ended up going down, and because it was still early in the race, so many guys passed me back, and I was just like, oh great, you know, what else?
Third lap, I came off a jump, and right when I landed, my throttle stuck. And I turned it off, and I was like, whoa, what the heck?
I don't know, it looks like there could be a problem, a possible problem with the throttle or the front brake, I don't know. Come on!
So there was a bunch of play in the throttle, and it was real sticky, so I had to turn it on, and then I had to turn it off, you know, so it wouldn't just snap back. So that was kind of tough, and you know, that was a good chance for me to make up more points.
Three stinking points, folks. Take the whole season, put it in the garbage. Nothing matters anymore. The only thing that matters is the 3 stinky points that separates the two.
If he gets second, I mean, there's no excuse for that. He's a better rider than that. He's a good enough rider to win this championship. Nobody wants to get second. Rhino don't want to get second. He's one of the toughest guys to race out there. That guy's serious. He's hardcore. No, second's no good.
Remember, folks, we ain't going to Troy. No one knew it at the time, but this is the last moto of the year.
Grant rode really good. That was the best I've seen him ride all year, you know, and I was like, okay, he's gonna make a mistake, he's gonna get tired, but hey, can't, you know, hats off to him, the guy rode awesome. Going into the last lap, I had a really fast part on the track, and I was behind him, like, if I can get him, I'll get him there.
Rhino never got him.
It's got to be the weirdest thing ever for someone to have to call you over the phone and tell you, hey, you know, you're the champ. I mean, normally you know it when you cross the line.
It's life, and what are you going to do about it? The way I put it is I didn't lose it, and he didn't win it. You know, and it's nothing against Grant. At that point in the series, he had the most points.
You know, maybe Grant deserved a little bit of luck and deserved that thing, because he was robbed too.
Grant finally did it. Langston is no longer the guy that could have been champ. He just plain is the champ.
I never didn't score points in a moto. The only rider who scored points in every single moto. Like that old saying goes, consistency wins championships.
There was times very highs and very lows, but it'll be a year that I remember for the rest of my life.
It was a good charge back, you know. I was just hoping to get top 5, and when it came back, and then, you know, getting third was even better than what I expected. So hopefully I'm just kind of continue what I did last year, you know, an outdoor season, try to start off winning, start off the season right, and go from there. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna have a perfect season, but I'm hopefully to be close to perfection.
Well, I guess that about wraps her all up. I sure do hope to see you folks next year at the Great Outdoors. Shoot, I know we'll be there.